I like a bit of nostalgic TV. I like being reminded of the good old days when I was younger and my knees still worked. I like it to a point. Welcome to Sidetrack, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. I get a lot of comments on this channel whenever we talk about a hard reboot, a continuation, a soft reboot, whatever, from people basically saying, for the love of God, why can't they just do something new? And then when something new is done, people go, nah, it's not as good as that old thing I liked. So executives at the big streaming platforms have this problem. How do they get people to watch the TV show that they've spent hundreds of millions of dollars producing? One easy way is to do something that people already like, or remind them at least of something they already like. That is an easy way to get bums in seats. It's an easy way to get a bit of interest around the project that you're doing, even if it is a completely new project. If it's made by somebody that made something you like, you'll notice that that gets pushed a lot. The Ark recently, from the creators of Stargate, plastered all over it. So, nostalgia works. Picard Season 3 was a nostalgia fest. It was very much a show completely with the fans in mind. Terry Matalas had basically listened to all of the complaints about Star Trek over the last few years, and he wrote a TV series for the fans. It was dripping with nostalgia, from everything from the build up to the Enterprise D being unveiled, even though we knew that was going to happen. In every episode, there was at least one, two, maybe three moments that were purely aimed at nostalgia, at reminding us about the golden age of Star Trek, when TNG was on and we were all happy. And Trekkies were united in the love and admiration for this TV show. God, I remember the good old days when Trekkies were united. Not anymore. So, executives like to do these nostalgic moments. Now, I find them a little bit irritating at times because we always have to have those shots within the episode when the actor or the whatever it is, a set or something, is revealed that is supposed to be nostalgic and is supposed to remind us of those good old days. So it'll be an actor, say it'll be that long sweeping shot where you see this back of the actor's head, and we all know it's about to happen, but then we're still supposed to go, oh, when it's revealed that, yes, it's Data or it's Ensign Rowe or it's whatever it is they're supposed to be revealing that's supposed to be such a shock that nowadays never is because we always know about it beforehand. Or the actor will come on and then there's almost that pause, that 2 or 3 seconds, like a pause for applause sort of thing, where we're supposed to just have that moment of, oh my God, it's that person I like from that thing. And those sort of shots really do feel outdated nowadays because, as I said, because of leaks, because of actually a lot of the time executives telling us beforehand because they want clicks, or we know it's going to happen. They can't really surprise us anymore. So why do executives do it? Why do they love nostalgia? Well, psychologically, we like nostalgia. We like to be reminded about our youth. There's actually a thing in psychology called sort of like the Goldilocks zone. And there's a period in your life, and it's roughly 16 to 25, when everything was just better. And people look back at it and go, oh, the good old days. And nothing was. Life gets better every year. I think actually we're much wealthier than we were back in the 80s and the 90s. We have internet and mobile phones and all of these brilliant, marvelous technologies. But I still look back on that time nostalgically, going, oh, mainly because, like I say, my knees worked. But music was better that time and just everything else. And we all have that little golden period in our lives where we just think everything was better. Filmmakers like to remind us of that because, as I said, it puts bums in seats. But they also do it for a few other reasons, some positive and some negative. For example, in a positive way, when they're doing a reboot or a new series, the creator might actually really love what came before. So say you're doing a new Stargate movie and you adored SG-1. If, as a creator, as a writer, as a director, you're going to want to give SG-1 a little bit of a nod Now, they do this in lots of movies and they like to do that. And it's these little things that pop up and they just remind us of the original, like the original actor coming back for something in a different role, say. Or in the Dungeons and Dragons movie recently, they did a little nod to the cartoon where the Chris Pine and everybody's running around and they run into and they see the caged characters basically from the cartoon series. It's a very funny moment. It's a little nod back to something the creator actually really loved in the cartoon that I adored as well. So sometimes it's done out of respect. Sometimes it's done simply to placate fans. They're doing something new. They know it's going to annoy certain elements of the fan base. So they bring something back from the original just to try to appease them, to try to get everyone to calm down a bit. So it is done very much as a tactic, as a technique to sort of try to calm a lot of the fans down, but also just appease them, just to remind them, yes, we do respect what came before, honest, and we are thinking about you. So sometimes it's done with the fans in mind as a bit of a psychological technique, if you like, to calm us all down a little bit. And I actually don't think that's a bad thing. I do think it's a bad thing when creators just do it to get clicks on social media. Now, this is something that I've argued when talking about a few other things, like when a character gets gender swapped, for example. Now, talk about Battlestar Galactica again. I will always argue that turning Starbuck into a lady, and Katie Sackhoff in particular, because she was amazing in it, was actually done for the best reasons. I actually saw an interview at the time with creators sort of saying that, look, this character is boring. We needed to do something a bit more interesting with it. Kurt Benedict was really amazing in this originally, and we needed somebody else that stood out in a similar way. We just didn't think we could do it with a man. It made it more interesting for us to make her a woman. So I was completely on board with that, and I think it worked brilliantly. Sometimes, though, they gender swap characters, etc., just to get clicks, to make people angry, to get clicks, to try and build up a bit of interest. Now, I actually think that they do that with nostalgia as well. They bring back actors or they bring back certain elements of a previous TV show just to get clicks. It has nothing to do with the series they're doing. It has nothing to do with the movie. It's just to get a little bit of interest, to get people talking. I actually think that's a complete waste of time. And really, they shouldn't bother. If what you're doing isn't a nod to the previous show out of respect or doesn't actually do something for the project you're doing, say, for example, the new Quantum Leap series, it's going to hark back and reference the old series quite a bit because it's a sort of a continuation. It's necessary for the story. It's not really just mention it out of nostalgia. It's mentioned it because it's needed to explain what they're doing now. That is also brilliant and absolutely fine. So throwing in nostalgia into a show is really a lot like a reboot itself. Sometimes it's done brilliantly. Sometimes it's done because somebody's got a really good idea on how to continue something we like. And yes, fair enough, the executives will go, right, this is a safer bet. We like safer bets. Let's go with that. But sometimes nostalgia is thrown into these TV shows, and just in the same way that reboots as a whole are done, as a cash grab. They will do it on a budget because they know there will be some interest. They probably know the chances are the season or movie or whatever will never get past its first series or will only ever, be watched that once by people and never again. But they don't care because they don't put a lot of money into it in the first place and they know they will get a return. Sometimes nostalgia is just a cash grab, just like the reboot as a whole. And that is when it's very, very disappointing. Because to be honest, it happens more than I'd like. It happens a lot, in fact, a lot. So, when a project is actually done from the outset just for money, it never works. When nostalgia is thrown into a series or a movie just to either make a bit of interest or, again, make a bit of money, it never works. So, I'm just arguing here that just like the reboot, nostalgia is great to a point. But when you go beyond that and you're just trying to think about the cha-ching, it's embarrassing to watch. It ruins TV shows. It ruins movies. And to be honest, it never works. Basically, it's a bit like life. If you do something out of greed, you're going to get stung in the backside. So guys, get into the comments and tell me what you think. Do you love these nostalgic moments, or do you actually think a lot of the time they are just really cynical grabs for attention or money, and actually you'd rather not? Do they work sometimes, but not others? I'd love to know any examples you can think of times when nostalgia has worked in a TV show or a movie. Like Picard, to be honest, it did work on the whole. But also, I'd love to know some examples that you think of times when it's just been cringeworthy. Get into the comments and tell me exactly what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to patreon.com/sidetrack, where most of our new videos appear first. And for a small contribution each month, you can actually support the channel and get to see the videos without the adverts. Also, you can go to our new focusscitrek.co.uk website, your sci-fi TV and movie website, where stories from most of our new videos will be appearing that will give you a little bit more to chew on. Please go and check it out. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.